Hello, everyone. Again, no stream today. Been busy. What can you gonna blame me? A guy with glasses? Come on. You know this is the hardest job there is. Show some respect. Anyway, in all seriousness, Elon is having what I would call, I guess, maybe title-worthy, a generational crash out. At the moment, I've talked about, the last two videos in the main channel, I think, depending on when this gets uploaded, are also about Elon Musk having a crash. There's a race war, a civil war going on with MAGA on Twitter right now, which is basically about H-1B visas, where you have, on one hand, capitalists and people sympathetic to their interests, like Vivek Ramaswamy and Elon Musk, who like H-1B visas, which is a program by which immigrants come over to America, their stay contingent upon them having a job here. Usually this is done for like higher up workers. You're not doing this with like agricultural workers. You're doing this with tech workers, you know? They like it because H-1B workers are easy to exploit because they're immigrants and they can only stay in the country if they're continuing, to work. So if they get fired, they get deported, which means that they'll put up with a lot of really bad conditions. And then on the other side of the Civil War, you have just Nazis, just Nazis, white supremacists, whatever. You have people who are ideologically racist above all other priorities. They don't care if America crumbles. I think Nick Fuentes literally tweeted like, I don't really care about the economy that much. I just don't want America to look like India, which is like just a perfect encapsulation of how little these guys actually give a shit about white people. Like, white people suffered plenty during the Great Depression. They don't give a shit. They'll throw all white people back to that. They would love to go back to the Great Depression because at least the more white people per capita here in America, they don't give a shit if the white people are happy. They just like conceptually the idea of it being a white country. Whatever, racists or idiots aside. So we've had Elon's phenomenal crash out here. Fantastic stuff. We saw this generationally funny, I would say, tweet. Maybe the funniest thing he's ever tweeted. Evan loves Worf agrees, you know. Got to give credit. H-Bomber guy, don't come after me. So in the fallout of this big, like, argument that's been had over H-1B visas, in which basically, like, every far-right, influencer account, whatever, on Twitter has turned on Elon, a bunch of funny things has happened. First of all, a lot of them, especially the ones associated with Nick Fuentes, have gotten their accounts suspended. These guys didn't do anything new. They were Nazis before, they're Nazis now. They just got banned for arguing with Elon Musk. Or, funnily enough, arguing with Elon Musk's fake alt account that he argues on Twitter Spaces with, Adrian Dittman, which everyone knows is Elon. It's truly like X, the everything app, the free speech app. Look, I'm not going to cry about Nazis getting banned. It's just funny that it's not the Nazism that got them banned. It's the Nazism in conjunction with criticizing Elon's use of H-1B visas, That is 100% what they got banned for. Elon was like actually losing it. This was the funniest one. There was like a fake tweet of Elon's that got posted. That is a lie. Do you make this lie? I found it elsewhere. Is it fake? Where did you find this lie? It was posted on Reddit. My mistake. I didn't realize it was forged. Liar. It's, I'm telling you, it's like the blend of infinite power and infinite mediocrity, where like at least the Rockefellers had to have some degree of competence to get where they got, right? He has all the power in the world. He's the wealthiest man on earth. He is the ear of the future president. He's an oligarch unmatched anywhere. There's no one on earth wealthier than him or has more power than him. And he's unironically, he's crashing the fuck out on the app that he bought, whining about people being mean to him. Incredibly funny. Like, genuinely. This could actually have some potential far-reaching ramifications. Now, I want to be clear, okay? Elon is beefing primarily with, like, neo-Nazis right now. Okay, very far-right people. At the very least, like, open white supremacists. We're not talking about him beefing with, like, the broader MAGA coalition. This is still important, though, because even though, supporting Trump doesn't make you a Nazi, right? Like, it can make you a idiot or ignorant, like, or a Nazi, but it doesn't necessarily make you a Nazi. There are plenty of people who supported Trump because they're stupid or have a poor understanding of the world, not because they like, seeking Heil the moment they wake up. That being said, just because Elon's not beefing with like the majority of the MAGA crowd right now doesn't mean that he's not beefing with a really important part of it. Because even though you don't have to be a Nazi to be a Trump supporter, you kind of got to be at least a little bit of a Nazi to be an open public advocate for supporting Trump. The difference is massive. If you take a look at, say, the Democrats, there are lots of normal Democratic voters who have, whatever their positions are, mildly liberal, mildly progressive, whatever. And then you go one step up to the publicists, the editors, the writers, the content creators. There are a lot of people who are basically like that. There are a lot of people who are basically just a Democrat voter with an elevated platform. That is not the case on the right wing. On the right wing, in large part because of the first of all, the amount of money circling that space, the, oligarch funds, and B, the fact that in order to actively defend the kind of stuff that Donald Trump says, in order to be able to like articulate why you support it, you gotta be like a fascist. You can't accidentally, you don't get to enjoy the like thoughtless ignorance of the casual voter because this is your job now. You got to be at least something of a fascist to actually advocate for it. And as a consequence of that, even though Elon's not beefing with a majority of Trump voters, he is kind of beefing with a majority of Trump advocates, at least advocates online. Like Trump support online is overwhelmingly dictated by and sort of cultivated by neo-Nazis and super far-right people, at the very least on Twitter. Seriously, look at the accounts that have been promoted by Elon. Look at the accounts that are like the far-right MAGA accounts that have been blowing up, that have been promoting Trump. These are not like regular conservatives. They're all at the very least open fascists, real like white birth rates, great replacement, they're lying to you about Hitler types. So as a consequence of this, Elon's losing good graces with the kinds of people that have been like the front arm of the propaganda wing for Trump's re-election. It's not like 2016 again, where the like loudest contingent of people supporting Trump online and in person are like, weirdo. You have like aggrieved upper middle class suburbanites, true, but for the most part I think it's just like cultists and people who really don't like Hillary Clinton. I remember 2016. Nowadays it's like an arm-in-arm linked goose stepping neo-Nazi brigade that's pushing for this guy online. So Elon losing their good graces over his right to defend the ability to bring in Indians on H-1B visas so he can exploit their labor, a little bit more significant. That's all I'm saying. Again, maybe it blows over, but it's pretty damn funny. Elon's still going on over this. And if you take a look at any of Elon's recent posts, even ones that have nothing to do with this little civil war, the replies are chock full of people who are egging him over this. Elon is not very smart. He has a massive ego. He's a megalomaniac, or am I forgetting a syllable here? Megalomaniac, right? Oh, I was sorry. I was thinking the extra syllable in megalomaniacal, which is much more fun to say, I have to say. Megalomaniac doesn't roll off the tongue quite as well as megalomaniacal. Elon's very emotionally invested in the way he gets treated on this platform, which is the reason why, in spite of his incredible wealth and power, he's like J.K. Rowling in a way, right? Like J.K. Rowling, all this wealth, all this power. And what are they doing? They're miserable. They're just like laying in their bed, furiously responding to criticism. You don't get stuff like this from mentally well oligarchs, maybe a crash out continues. I do believe that Elon is the weakest link of Trump's new administration because he's the most powerful person in it, despite being completely unelected. He's not very bright. He doesn't play the game very well. Keep in mind, Elon is powerful, but that power comes from his wealth. And there are lots of people around him who are guiding his decisions. In terms of his ability to play the game, personally, he constantly embarrasses himself. I mean, Trump was making jokes about him wearing out his welcome at Mar-a-Lago like day 2 after he won the election. Elon is the weakest link here. He doesn't know how to play the game. He's not socially competent. He's autistic as he has a massive ego, and he's incredibly thin-skinned, like, in the face of criticism. Trump also has a massive ego. Look at how Trump responds to criticism. When a public figure attacks him, he just attacks them back, When people are angry at Trump, he says, yeah, I'll keep drinking that shit anyway. He has like, there's a certain air about him that allows him to deal with that criticism without coming across as like personally wounded. Sometimes Trump does get like ego bruised, like with Kamala Harris's comment about people leaving his rallies early. But for the most part, he can handle himself, certainly compared to Elon. I think that if Elon keeps getting pressured and pushed, I mean, eventually he might, if he flies off the handle, it could be ruinous for Trump's administration. Elon is the glue holding so much together, in large part because he represents so much of the potential future wealth of the party, Individual donations were down for Trump, for the GOP. A lot of their wealth is just coming from the super PACs and the billionaire money, dark money circling around in it. Elon's definitely the most like aggressive and prominent of those providers, of those sponsors. So we'll see how things go, right? Anyway, I hope you all are doing well. I'm doing a lot better, as you can tell, because I had the wherewithal to put on my nice sweatshirt before before getting in front of the camera. You know, normally if I'm feeling a little out of it, I'm just throwing a t-shirt on. But this sign of health right here makes me look vital. You know, wearing a nice sweatshirt really gives the impression that you work out, doesn't it? I mean, it's athletic wear, right? This it's like, oh, did he just come back from the track? Did he just come back from the weight room? No, I just came back from eating yogurt. Just had a bunch of yogurt. It's kind of like the opposite of exercise. Good for your gut biome, though. Eat yogurt, folks, and take care. I'll be back soon.